Please note that due to the length of the anime, I have decided to make this video as short as possible, so if you want to have the full experience, I highly recommend you read the manga, as it would not take as much time as the TV show. One final note, this recap have taken me a lot of time and edit to make, and I know that by the time it will be posted, it will probably be copyrighted by Funimation other third-party companies, which is understandable, considering that I do not own this material and all the rights belong to their respective owners. Nonetheless, I must ask you that if you wish to support my channel and the work that I have done, please consider subscribing. I hope you enjoy this video, and let's jump straight into the recap. The series begins with an attack on a cruise ship at the hands of Alvida. Kobe, a slave of Alvida, discovers a barrel and a young boy emerges and stops the pirate, saying that his name is Monkey D. Luffy. Kobe reveals his dream of being a marine, and Luffy knocks the pirate crew down with his devil fruit power. He explains that he ate the gum fruit, therefore he has the properties of rubber. Kobe, inspired by Luffy, stands up for himself when Alvida confronts them and takes her down. They sail away in a borrowed boat where Luffy asks about the pirate hunter and announces his intention of asking him to join his crew. Luffy and Kobe arrive at an island with a large marine base, where Luffy discovers the swordsman, Roronoa Zoro, tied to a pole. He asks Zoro to join his crew, but Zoro refuses. Luffy and Kobe meet a girl named Rika in town, tells them how Helmeppo brought his vicious pet dog into their bar and that Zoro knocked it out to protect everyone inside. He then made a deal with Helmeppo. If he can survive being tied to a pole with no food or water for 30 days, then Helmeppo will spare the little girl and her mother. However, Helmeppo says that he will execute Zoro the next day despite his word. Luffy punches him, and Helmeppo runs off to tell his father, Captain Morgan. While Luffy invades the Navy base to find Zoro's swords, Kobe attempts to untie Zoro and explains the situation to him. Morgan orders that they are both to be executed. The soldiers open fire, but before the bullets can reach them, Luffy leaps from the base and uses his rubber body to block the bullets. Luffy hands the 3 swords to Zoro in exchange for Zoro joining his crew. He and Morgan then engage in battle and Luffy knocks him to the ground. Meanwhile, Helmeppo takes Kobe hostage. But Luffy strikes him down too, while Zoro takes out Morgan right before he can kill Luffy. Later, Luffy, Zoro, and Kobe are in the town restaurant with Rika and her mom. The Marines step into the restaurant, and as Luffy and Zoro are pirates, they must leave the island immediately. Luffy and Zoro get ready to go, but so that he won't ruin Kobe's chances of enrolling in the Marines. Luffy beats him to near death in order to trick the Marines before they leave. As they do, Kobe asks to join the Marines, and is accepted. Outside, Luffy and Zoro climb into their boat, and as they set sail, the Marines salute them for saving the town, including Kobe. In a flashback, a 7-year-old Luffy sits in a bar filled with the pirate crew of the red-haired Shanks, begging him to take him out to sea. But the pirate captain refuses. A bandit named Higuma enters and orders several barrels of booze. Shanks offers him the last bottle, but Higuma smashes it and humiliates Shanks. After the bandit leaves the bar, all of the pirates start to laugh. Luffy gets angry that Shanks did not fight back and in a huff eats a purple fruit lying on the bar. Shanks notices this and tries to make Luffy spit it out, but it was too late. Shanks tells Luffy that he just ate the gum devil fruit, and now he is a rubber man and won't be able to ever swim again. Later, Luffy gets attacked by Higuma and his bandits. He is about to be killed, when Shanks and his crew arrive and effortlessly defeat Higuma's men. Frightened, Higuma escapes, taking Luffy with him to the sea. There he throws him into the water. And as Higuma laughs at Luffy's plight, a sea king appears and devours him. The sea monster then goes for Luffy, but Shanks stops the sea monster as it takes a bite, and with one look, drives the beast away. Luffy clutches Shanks and starts crying, since Shanks' arm was bitten off by the creature. Shanks replies that it is fine, as long as Luffy is safe. As the pirates get ready to leave, Luffy decides he will become a pirate on his own, that he will gather a crew that will beat Shanks, and that he will become king of the pirates. Shanks gives his straw hat to Luffy and tells him to return it someday, as a great pirate. Back in the present, Luffy slingshots into the sky to catch a bird. Instead, he is caught himself. Zoro, now alone in their boat, tries to keep up, paddling. On his way, he picks up 3 castaways from Buggy's crew. The bird, carrying Luffy, flies over a town, where it is shot down. Luffy falls down and lands right in front of Nami, who is running away from Buggy's crew for stealing their Grand Line map. Nami pretends that Luffy is her boss, using the distraction to escape from Buggy's men. After Luffy beats them, she asks him to join her. Then Luffy finds out that she is a navigator, and asks her to join his crew of pirates. As she hates pirates, she refuses. Then she tricks Luffy into letting himself be tied up and brought to Buggy, where he is locked up in a small cage, while Nami fakes joining Buggy's crew. As proof of loyalty, Buggy demands of Nami to kill Luffy, but she cannot bring herself to do it. As Buggy's pirates attack her, Zoro arrives to save his captain. Buggy recognizes Zoro as the pirate hunter and attacks him. Zoro cuts Buggy into pieces. Believing Buggy to be dead, he sheathes his swords and is stabbed in the back by Buggy, who reveals he ate the chop fruit and can separate his body and is impervious to being cut. The wound puts Zoro at a disadvantage, yet he picks up the cage with Luffy inside and the 3 escape. Still trapped in a cage, Luffy meets a small dog named Chao guarding his master's store despite knowing that his owner is dead. Moji the Beast Tamer's lion, Richie, inadvertently breaks Luffy's cage open and sends him flying. Chao tries to protect the store, but is no match for the much stronger Richie, and Moji burns the store down. Angered by Moji destroying what the dog finds precious, Luffy mercilessly punches him out. Moved by Luffy's concern for the dog, Nami agrees to work with Luffy for the time being. Enraged by the actions of Buggy's crew, the city's mayor rushes to fight Buggy himself, but the Straw Hat Pirates come to his rescue, with Luffy knocking him out to prevent him from getting himself killed. Zoro fights Kabeji, despite still being wounded, and defeats him while Nami leaves to search for the map to the Grand Line. Luffy begins fighting Buggy, who knows that he can injure Luffy's rubber body by cutting him, and enrages him by damaging his straw hat. Buggy reveals that Shanks accidentally caused him to eat the devil fruit he had been planning to sell while they were apprentice pirates on the same ship, preventing him from finding an underwater treasure. Nami manages to steal Buggy's body parts, and Luffy sends him flying with Gum Gum Bazooka. Luffy, Nami, and Zoro are forced to flee town as the villagers discover what Luffy did to the mayor, and he identifies himself as a pirate, but the mayor thanks the 3 as they leave. When they land on another island, Usopp appears to greet them, with 3 children hiding in the bushes. After a failed attempt on Usopp's part to scare the pirates away, they talk about Shanks and his marksman Yasopp, Usopp's father. Usopp brings them to a restaurant, where after a meal, he leaves them to head for a mansion outside town. The mansion belongs to the sickly young woman Kaya. She and Klahadore, her butler, talk about Usopp, and Klahadore forbids her to see him. Usopp comes anyway, and he tells Kaya a story about fighting a giant goldfish with droppings the size of islands. Back at the restaurant, Usopp's small friends, the Usopp pirates, enter in search of their captain. They bring Luffy, Zoro, and Nami to Kaya's mansion, and tell them how Usopp tells Kaya lies to cheer her up since her parents died and she became ill. Luffy decides they should ask her for a ship, and as there are bodyguards guarding the gate, he slingshots the whole group over the fence. They crash into the ground near Usopp, and as they get up, Klahadore comes out and calls them intruders. Klahadore goes on about how Usopp's father is a filthy pirate, making Usopp livid and punch him in the face, and leaves. The Usopp pirates, Nami, and Zoro encounter Django, who claims to be only a passing hypnotist. He then hypnotizes them, and accidentally himself, into falling asleep in the middle of the road. Later, by a cliff overlooking the ocean, Luffy and Usopp witness Django and Klahadore, whose true identity turns out to be that of the infamous pirate Captain Kuro, plotting a raid of the village and a murder of Kaya. Luffy yells at them not to get rid of Kaya, but Django uses his hypnotism to put Luffy to sleep.